Welcome back to My Hero Academia anime review, episode number 145. Sorry if I sound a little weird. I've got stuffy nose. Hopefully I get a chance for better soon. It's the weather we're having, what do you expect? Now, there is no new chapter released My Hero Academia this week. No manga chapters, so basically the anime. So, let's get to episode 123, The Ones With Us. This covers chapters 286 to 288. And, well, well, for 288, they have all but the opening page. Yeah, the opening page is scheduled for next week, but they do, however, adapt the first page of chapter 289. Yeah, for some reason they did that. I'm not really sure why. So, basically, we have several different things going on here. Let's first start with Deku, where he gets angry over Bakugo getting injured. So basically, anger, he attacks Todoroki, which leads him into the world of One for All, which basically he's looks like he's naked and he's covered. And look how basically the sensor is like this little the black whip stuff. And when he's there, he's confronted by Todoroki, who's there with All for One, and behind him is, of course, All Might's master, Nana. And, of course, the first wielder of One for All is there, too. The basic Kakao's big brother. It's a great sequence, and it adapts it pretty faithfully. And then pretty much right after that, yeah, it looks like that Deku's done for a moment, but don't worry, we're not done with the arc just yet. Meanwhile, though, we do see Ingenium, where basically he's ready with Nezuricha, which I'm great to hear Lynn Seidel's voice again as the character. Yes, where they're just running along. By the way, that sequence where I have Ingenium running with her and a couple of heroes, that comes from the first page of chapter 289. Yes, this one sequence that is like 30 seconds is from one page. Yes, seriously. And of course, they go try the form of Never about Giant Maki, who's basically rampaging through cities. Here's something I forgot to mention in my Kuga review while I was reviewing Kuga. That this is another anime I've seen where they feature the headquarters of the Tokyo Police Department. Well, the exterior, anyways. Excuse me, I kind of forgot that it appears here too. Now, even though yes, the show is set in Japan, they don't really say it takes place in Tokyo. The dub never states it at all. The manga does not clarify. Aside from the fact it's set in Japan, the city's name is made up, but it's clearly based upon Tokyo. And that's something interesting though, about Japanese anime and, of course, live action. They love saying something Tokyo. Tokyo is apparently their favorite place because it's like the biggest in the whole country. So let's set every single series there, or can't or in the case I think it's Kanto. I think it is. Either those two, or like some other city in Japan. But mostly, a lot of it's in Tokyo, because well, that's a lot of the action takes place because it's like also the biggest city, and it's the first city people think of when people think of Tokyo. Now Osaka, Tokyo. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So, we're out there beaten, and then we cut to the League of Villains, where they're basically on Giant Machia. Where, of course, we have it where they talk about twice, and the fact that Toga's thinking about Deku, Ochako, and Froppy. And, of course, she wants to see how they feel about her. And of course, Mr. Compress basically like sees Skeptic and like notices like, oh, zoom in there, please. And well, there they are, Ochako and Froppy. And she's like, oh man, give me my equipment. It's like, okay, fine, gives her equipment, and of course, Spinner basically gives words of encouragement because he liked him too, because he's a good friend of his. And that's twice, anyways. And she goes off to go see Ochaku. Then we cut to Ochaku, where she's basically like, her and Fabi are Vector people. And then, of course, this old lady comes along. I'll spoil who it is in a minute. Where it's like, oh, my house is bad. Can you please help me? It's like, okay. Got a bad back. And eventually, for some reason, the old lady starts running really fast. Someone's got a bad back. And it turns out this old lady is actually Himiko Toga. Yes, this is Toga. Though they actually do a censoring here, because here's the thing: in the manga, we actually see Toga's rear end. Yes, we see her rear end in the manga. In the anime, they actually don't show that. Nope, there's no full shot. It's basically only half shot. We only see her mostly from the waist up. We don't see a full shot of her. Yeah, apparently whenever Toga does these forms, she basically takes up she goes completely naked. Then eventually she starts fighting, then we have Ochaku follow her in the house that and of course they actually have a brief fight, and then of course you have Toga on top of Ochaku, and you're probably thinking, is Ochaku about to have sex with not Ochaku, is Toga about to have sex with Ochaku? No. Or try to rape her? No. She takes out a knife per se, but some people might see this as like, oh, Toga's gonna rape Ochaku. No. Not at all. That is not what's going on here. Some people might think that, given how the way it's presented. From the anime perspective, you don't read the manga, you're probably like, why the heck is Toga on top of Ochaku with a knife? Like, given where the knife is, you can easily say that, oh, maybe Toga is waiting to basically strip Ochaku naked. No. That's not what's going on here. At all. It's simply put, basically, Toga wanted to have a conversation with Ochaku. That's it. That's the whole point of this particular scene. Some people might think in other ways, but this is how I see it presented in the anime, based on the dialogue, that this is all about a talking sequence. Not about rape, not about stripping Ochaku naked. That's why she's a very lovely girl in the series. This is not about basically sex. Nothing to do with it at all. Nothing. So basically, anybody who thinks that when they see this scene, just put that to the side and actually bother to actually watch the sequence very carefully. Because yes, you have it where Ochaku is blocking the knife. You could say also maybe that Toga wants to stab Ochaku, given she loves blood. Yes, but given the fact I've actually read the chapter this scene comes from, it has nothing to do with stabbing or sexual stuff. Well, a little bit, but not what people might think per se. And I should point out, though, the chapter where this came out, that came out just a couple years ago. Yeah, I think it was just 2 years ago this chapter came out, right? Yeah, basically this came roughly 2 years ago. Basically 2 years ago. That's where 288 comes from. Yeah. Yeah, it's roughly a 2-year-old chapter, and here's something interesting though. It was here's just something by sheer coincidence, because for the longest time, the series didn't really take much for breaks per se, but it was started just a couple years because it was only just if you didn't read the manga and you notice the release dates from these chapters, and like, wait, why did it take a week off for? Because in 2020, basically a lot of manga creators were taking weeks off for manga. Like, not just Oda for One Piece. My Hero Academia is doing it, and so is Black Clover. Like, they've been doing this for a couple years now, because basically, my guess is that some people have been complaining toward the publishers, where that these people should get breaks once in a while. Like, they should get a break, almost like, not just Oda. Oda was practically the only creator I've ever heard of prior to this, where he was the only one allowed to take, so he releases like 3 chapters or 4 and takes like a week off. And a lot of people were probably saying this to probably the publishers, hey, give your other mangaka a week off. Give them a freaking break. Like, take, for example, this week. The reason why there was no chapter this week it was advertised. Excuse me. The only reason why there wasn't a chapter release this week because the writer got sick. Yeah, that was some of the reason for it. His poor health is the reason why they postponed the new chapter. It was supposed to come out this week, but was postponed because of his illness. That was the only reason for it. Yep. But not really much else to say about this episode. It's good. I can't wait for next episode, which, here's a shocker. It's coming out Saturday, which is Christmas Eve. I'll probably watch it Sunday. Presumably, anyways, yes. Now, that's going to be pretty much it for the review. Next up, Comic Corner. Oh, in case you're curious, though, the Flash from Beyond book is just a really good miniseries. The only reason I had to rush to close that video because I had to use the bathroom right now, and more I don't really need to. In case you're curious, though. But next up is the Comic Corner, and I'm going to do this tonight because basically the stuff has to be expired really soon, okay? Bye.